Okay? So your brain is fooling you into thinking it's got to be the same thing I always see, which is a checkerboard with light squares and dark squares. But actually it turns out that these two squares, A and B, are exactly the same color. Kind of weird, right? Okay, let's do another physics break. I think my computer's probably going to die anyway, so we might end up not doing anything else. Yeah. So I want to teach you a basic law of physics, okay? And here's the basic law. We have to review the basic law. The basic law is this. If you have you know what a magnetic field is, right? Yeah. Magnets. You've played with, how many have played with magnets? Most everybody? Okay. I have some here. I have some big magnets. And I have these magnets on here. These are little cylindrical magnets. So here's the basic law of physics that I want to teach you today. If you have a magnetic field, I want you to repeat this after me once we get it. If you have a magnetic field and you change it, you can create a current. So a changing magnetic field can create an electric current. Everybody got that? A changing magnetic field can create a current. A current creates a magnetic field. So there's 3 steps here. A changing magnetic field creates a current, and a current creates a magnetic field. But there's something special about the magnetic field that's created. Now, what do you know about the poles of a magnet? Like a north pole and a south pole. What happens? You put opposite poles together. Yep. Opposite poles attract, okay, and like poles repel, right? So let's take a look. This is a piece of copper. It's a copper tube. These are magnets. And I'm going to drop the copper tube onto the magnets. Now, does copper stick to magnets? No. Copper's not attracted to magnets. I mean, if you put it on here, it just falls off. However, if you do something a little bit different, it floats. It floats. Why is it floating? Okay. Electricity. Okay. So, does anybody have any idea what's going on here? Well, I'll show it to you again in a different form. I'll let you hold this. Just hold it. Just hold it. You're going to have to be very heavy. Okay, so what I have here, what Dylan's holding is, I have 2 magnets. The red end is a north pole. The blue end is a south pole. And then it's the opposite over here. I'll show these people over here. So I have 2 magnets, and the field points one way and then the other. Now this is a piece of aluminum. Does aluminum stick to magnets? Can you stick a piece of aluminum to a magnet? No. Just falls off. However, come out in front. However, if I let this piece of aluminum fall through these magnets, you can see what happens here. So, what's going on here? A little higher. So what's going on here? Yes, sir. No friction. Okay. So, what did I just say? What's the physics principle here? If you change a magnetic field, you get a current and a current creates a field. So what's going on here is that this piece of metal, as it travels through, it sees a field going one way and then the other. That's a changing field. That produces a current in this piece of aluminum, and that current produces a field, but that field is the opposite direction of this field. So the two fields oppose each other, and you get a net upward force, okay, which opposes the pull of gravity. So this thing is falling at constant speed until it gets out of the magnetic field and it falls. Now I want to show you another demonstration of this. So I have a coil. I have a coil of wire here, and I'm going to put a big current through it. I'm going to put a current through it, and this piece of iron here is going to bring the magnetic field out. So the magnetic field is going to be up and then down and then up and then down. So I have a piece of aluminum. Again, aluminum's not magnetic, but let's see what happens when I put this thing in here. Okay. So this ring is jumping off of these magnets here. What's going on? It's the same idea. I have a very rapidly changing magnetic field. This ring sees that field, and a current starts to flow back and forth in the ring, creating its own magnetic field. That magnetic field is always opposite to this one, and so it lifts off. So you could launch this thing pretty far if you had a really large current here. Now, I want you to, room temperature, right? So I'm going to prove to you that there's current in this thing. And I'm going to hold it here for a minute. And let's see what happens to this piece of aluminum. So you can pass that around. If I was to hold that there too much longer and hold it in place, it would actually melt the aluminum. There's that much current. So it's warm, isn't it? It's hot. Yeah, I don't want to melt it though, because then I wouldn't have a ring. Right? Let me show you one other thing here. Can we turn some of the lights down a little bit more? Is it possible to turn them off, basically? Can we make it dark? Oh, perfect. Okay, that's great. So I have here a coil of wire. It's hard for you to see it with the lights off. And I have a little light bulb on the end. So I'm going to show you again that there is a current being produced when I get this near the magnetic field. It's changing. So it's not connected to anything, is it? No wires, nothing there. If I pull it away, if I get it close, that changing magnetic field creates a current. And there's the current. You can see the light bulb. Okay? This is in fact how electricity gets into your house. Okay? Through a transformer. This is an example of a transformer. All right, we can turn the lights back on. Thank you. All right. Let's do one other thing here. I don't know if let's go back to this for a minute, and we're going to wrap up here pretty soon. I want to show you how, those of you who are like to make art, anybody like geometry? Anybody? few of you like geometry? Okay. I'm going to show you how to make some pretty cool art. So there's three regular shapes that tessellate. Anybody know what the word tessellate means? That's a crazy word, isn't it? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes. What does it mean? I can't hear you. Repeat? Okay. So it repeats in such a way that it can cover a surface without any spaces in between, okay? What are those shapes? Squares, triangles, and what other? Not circles, hexagons. Hexagons, okay? So you can obviously cover the entire plane with squares, right? And just keep going. Or you could do it with triangles, right? Or you could do it with hexagons, right? You could cover the whole plane with hexagons. All right? So that's pretty simple, right? Now, there's three rules. There's three rules that we can play with here. One is called translation. And that means I make a shape on one side. I'm just going to use the squares as an example. And I make this shape, and I can cover the whole surface with this weird shape, as long as I follow the rules. Another rule is to translate and reflect. So I make the same shape, and then I flip it on the other side. And I can cover the whole plane with that shape also. Okay? And the last rule is called rotation. So I can rotate the same shape, say down like that, and I can create kind of a weird shape, and as long as I follow the rule of rotation, I can also cover the plane with those shapes. Okay? So there was a famous artist, his name was Escher, and he really did a lot of interesting things with these tessellations. Really creative things. And you can go online and you can look him up and you can look at all the different things that he did. All kinds of weird things. You see the yellow winged lions, you see the black winged lions going the other direction. You can make these yourself. He did all kinds of other crazy things. He made his lizards actually come to life and walk around and then go back into the page. And he also made some really crazy, impossible, look at this for a minute, crazy, impossible situations that you really couldn't do in real life. Kind of weird, right? Try to follow one of the figures and see where they're going. All right. Let's do our last physics break because I think we're running out of time at this point. But we'll play with the nitrogen in a second.
You dump it down the ramps?
What do you want me to do?
Dump it down the ramps.
You want me to dump it down the ramps?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. Let me do one other thing here, though. I have, let's do two other things, then we'll dump the nitrogen, okay? So I have a piece of metal here, and I'm going to put it in the liquid nitrogen. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to the piece of metal in the nitrogen. What do you think is going to happen?
It's going to break.
It's going to break? No, it's not going to break. Let's just see what happens. I'll cool it off for a second. I want you to explain what's going on, though, okay? Letting it cool off here. So, that's kind of weird. What happened? What happened to this thing? Why did it bend? Why is it bending?
Because it had to contract, but couldn't contract straight down, so it bent.
Okay, you're very close. You said it had to contract, but it couldn't contract straight down, so it bent. That's a very good guess. You're almost exactly right. Yes, sir. It was room temperature, and then it got really cold. Okay. This is a special, it's kind of a trick, but there's physics behind it. This is actually two pieces of metal welded together like this. Okay? Metals do contract. Most metals contract when you get them cold. But some metals contract more than others. So the metal on this side contracts much more than the metal on the other side. So when the one metal on this side shrinks, instead of coming apart, it causes it to bend. And let's do it again for a second. Turn our torch back on. I'll put my safety glasses on. I don't want to burn my eyeballs. So, what do you think will happen if I do the opposite? I heat it up. Let's see what happens here. We'll warm it back up. Now what's going on? What's going on? So the same metal that was shrinking on the one side was shrinking. Now it's doing what? It's expanding. So the metal on this side is expanding more than the metal on the other side, and so naturally it wants to bend the other way. Okay? That's a little hot. I'll cool it off in here. I don't want to touch it. Question? What's that? This thing here? Yes, it is. These are two pieces of metal, two different pieces of metal. This is just one. So it won't change shape on it. Okay. I guess we're about out of time.
About 3 minutes.
About 3 minutes. Okay, well we have just enough time to engage in wasting some liquid nitrogen. But it's for a good cause, right? For a good cause. Well, I need to put a little bit more in here. I need to put a little bit more, so Dylan, help me put a little bit more in here.
What did he talk about up there that he actually reduced the up? He was talking about translation.
Oh, yeah.
What they were.
They went to distract things.
What?
They were like the
Translation, the translation,
And what were they all called?
I have no idea.
No, not translation.
So I'm just gonna end with this slide, and then we'll do the liquid nitrogen. But at some point in your life, you guys are still young. You got your lives ahead of you. You've got to finish up school. Some of you may want to go to college. Some of you may not want to go to college. You might want to get a job. But I've just put this slide up here because if you do want to go into science or technology or engineering or math, you're gonna have a job opportunity out there. Okay, and this table shows, and this is kind of more for parents, I suppose, or for you that are getting close to being out of school. But someday you're going to want to get a job, and if you look at the number of jobs that are projected in all of these different fields, these are all STEM fields. And as we saw earlier today in that video, even artists, even creative people who like to make things and create things are needed for these type of jobs, okay? There are whole teams of people that involve not just scientists, not just mathematicians, but artists and creative designers. And there are a lot of jobs. By the time you guys get out of high school and college, there are a lot of jobs available, and they pay pretty well. You know, these are some pretty good salaries. And look at the degrees you need. There are no PhDs up here. You don't have to become a PhD. In fact, you don't even have to be incredibly smart. I'll confess to you how smart I am not. For example, when I took the SAT, you guys are familiar with that test? Some of you in high school. When I took the SAT, my math score was 590, which is pretty low considering I have a PhD in physics. Now, I know a lot of math now, but I wasn't the smartest guy. I wasn't the best test taker. I wasn't even the best math student. I did well in high school, and I did pretty well in college, but I was persistent. And the key here is that you need to be curious. You need to think about being creative, and persistence is really, really important. If you want to do something with your life, anything in your life, you need to persist at it. You need to work hard at it. You can't get there quickly. I can promise you, you can't get there quickly. But if you do, you could get a really good job someday. So let's, I'll end with that. What I'll have you guys do is line up in these aisles, like some on each aisle. And I'm going to go to the top, and I'm going to dump it down this way. Or maybe we should do it right here. Let's do it. We're going to do it here. We probably want to move this camera, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get that hurt.
Hi, camera.
I'm gonna have you guys. I'm gonna have everybody stay up here on the wood floor.
No, make sure that it's facing. Come on. Right here. Just place it down, nice and slow.
Let's put this cord back further.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it behind. So go ahead and step over.
Are they doing it from behind? Oh my.
Yeah, so I need you guys to come this way. Kind of spread out.
Excuse me.
There's so many. Maybe we should split you apart. I'm gonna have half of you over here. I'm gonna have half of you over here.
Or that works too. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
You're right in front of camera. Say hi, camera.
Sorry, bud.
Oh, let me.
Hey guys, watch out. I'm sure that's okay.
If you have sandals on, you might not want to get this on your toes.
Does that hurt?
It won't hurt you, but it'll hurt the thing a little bit.
That's okay.
If you have sandals, I'll do it to you guys right now. So watch out. Here it comes. Here it comes.
I have flip flops on, bro. Get off the board. I'm like,
I got some rubber.
Marge, you're gonna take a minute.
Okay, we're going for lunch right now. We sort of stole a little bit of time from lunch, so I need you all to eat as quickly as you can without choking. So, are we having fun yet? All right, let's give them a big round of applause.
We're gonna take his stuff out this side door here.
Okay, if you will make your way up these steps, we're going to go out into the hall, turn to the right, and go down into the cafeteria. There are ladies down there that will serve you dinner. Be patient.
Hey, Darin.